Welcome to 7 Days of Yoga. This is my first yoga series where I'm using the asana portion of yogic practices, which is basically body posture, to help improve low back pain. So, this is day one of the series. It's all about awareness, and we're going to be cultivating a connection between our mind, our physical body, our breath, and our nervous system. Thanks for joining, and let's get started. So we're going to start on our backs. So plant your feet about hip width apart and let the knees fall in towards each other. We're going to rest one hand on your stomach and one hand on your chest. We're going to start to deepen the breath, inhaling all the way into our hand that's on our belly. And exhaling all the way out. Inhale, filling your entire torso. Exhale, let the navel fall back towards the spine and release any air left in your lungs. Couple breaths here at your own pace, feeling the belly rise and fall underneath your hand. Feel the ribs expand at the sides and the front and the back. And then the belly expanding as if it were a balloon. This is the quality of breath we're going to take forwards with us into the rest of our practice. On your next exhale, release the hold of the hands, roll to your left side, and with your right palm, push yourself carefully up to a seated position. We're going to come into a tabletop. So on all fours, wrists directly beneath shoulders, knees directly beneath hips. Inhale, let the belly drop and let the collarbones expand towards the wall in front of you. Exhale, pull the navel in towards the spine. Push the mat underneath you away, rounding. Inhale, let the belly drop. Look forwards, open the collarbones. And exhale, round, pulling the navel up and pushing the floor away. A couple more rounds at your own pace. Inhale. Exhale. After your next exhale, come to neutral tabletop. Your abdomen engaged slightly and your back as flat as possible. We're going to take hip circles, starting in any direction you want. We'll start small and gradually get wider as the hips start to release. You can go as wide as is comfortable for your body. And we'll take it in the opposite direction you started with. Starting small and getting larger as you go. And on your next exhale, bring your big toes together, knees slightly farther apart. Push the hips back to the heels rather, and carefully extend your arms forwards and let your forehead come to the mat. Child's pose. Cultivate that deep breathing again as you inhale, fill the torso, and imagine the breath going directly to your low back. As you take your inhales, notice the feeling of expansion and opening in this area. This is where we're going to send our breath for this particular practice today. On your next inhale, come slightly up and walk the hands over to the left, keeping your hips as they are. Bring the forehead back down, getting a stretch through the right side body and the right low back. Inhale into that area that you're feeling the stretch the most. And on your next inhale, come slightly up. And we're going to walk over to the other side. On your next inhale, we're going to come back to center, come back to our tabletop. And placing our palms a couple inches higher on the mat than they were in the tabletop. We're going to tuck our toes under and push our hips towards the ceiling, coming into our Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. So push deeply into your knuckles of your hands so there's not too much weight on your wrists, and bend the knees generously here so we're not putting tension on our low back. Reach the sit bones towards the ceiling and press your chest towards your thighs. Coming back to that deep breathing. Inhale all the way down to the low back. Exhale, let it go. On your next inhale, walk slowly to the top of the mat. And planting your feet hip width distance apart, keeping a generous bend in the knees. Just let your torso drape over your lower body. I'm going to hang out here. You can take your hands to your elbows and just let the body hang. Give a little sway side to side. Let the head hang. Nod yes, shake your head no. Feel the release in the spine. Inhale, bend your knees deeply, shift the weight into the heels, and slowly roll your way up to a stand. Inhale, reach the arms towards the sky. Look up between your palms. Exhale, hands together, and bring them down through heart center. Grounding down through the feet, engaging through the core. Inhale, bring the arms down, around, and up again. And exhale, hinging at the hips, swan dive. Generous bend in the knees, all the way down to our fold. Inhale, half lift. keeping the knees bent. We're going to flatten the back, reaching the tip of our head away from the tail of our seat. And exhale, fold over the legs. Plant the palms, step back to downward dog. Bend the knees, paddle your feet out if that feels good. And let the knees come down to the mat. And we're going to carefully come to our seat and set up for a twist. So sit with your seat and spine tall, legs out in front of you. We're going to take the right leg across the left thigh. Ground the entire foot into the mat. Inhale, reach the hands up. And as you exhale, you're going to squeeze all the air out of your torso and twist as far as you can to the right. And then let the hands fall wherever you are in this twist to support you. Your arm might be here, wrapping around your leg. If you're able to twist further, the elbow might come to the outside of the knee. And to deepen the twist, you can add in your head and turn it towards the back of the room. We're aiming for a tall spine, long in the back of the neck, keeping lots of space for that deep belly breath. And release, we're going to go to the other side. Left leg over right thigh, planting all four corners of the foot into the mat. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, twist, and let the arms fall wherever your twist has landed. And on your next inhale, back to center. Release. We're going to go back down to our backs. So you can come down using core strength, and you can support yourself by holding onto the back of the thighs and rolling gently down. So from here, we're going to cross our right ankle over our left knee. And from here, we're going to lift our left leg towards our torso, keeping our feet flexed to protect the knee. And if you have the range, you can grab onto the back of your thigh and pull it in towards you to increase that stretch in the right hip. We're aiming to keep our upper body relaxed in this position. So if you're straining to hold onto your leg, you might consider taking your leg a little bit farther away from your torso. You could wrap a strap around if you had a strap, or a piece of clothing, just to increase your reach a little bit. Otherwise, we're here for a few breaths, still sending that breath all the way to the bottom of the torso, reaching to the low back, and feeling how this posture opens up our right hip. Exhale, release. Put the feet down, and we're going to switch to the other side. Left ankle over right knee. And bring that leg in towards you, feet flexed. Couple breaths here. And stay for your last exhale, and then release. We're going to come into happy baby. So bringing the knees towards the armpits. We're going to extend the feet towards the ceiling with a 90-degree bend in our legs. And you could grab onto the ankle, the outside of the foot, or the big toes if it's in your practice. Our goal here is to keep a long spine. We're going to push our low back into the mat or the floor beneath us. And at the same time, energetically pull our knees towards our armpits and the floor beneath us. And keeping that long, deepened breath. You can add a rock in here if that feels okay in your body. Move with the intuitive feeling that you have in your own body. Your body will tell you what you need. And exhale. You can tuck the knees in towards the chest, give yourself a big hug. And continue rocking if that was feeling good on your back. Place the palms on the knees, and using just your arm strength, you can rock your knees back and forth, or do little circles in one direction and then the other. Just giving your low back a nice massage using the force of gravity. And then as you're ready, slowly bring the feet back to the mat. Extend the legs out and the arms lay down, palms facing up beside you. Letting the feet fall out to the side. Shavasana. We'll now allow our bodies to enter a deep rest, which allows the integration of this connection that we just made between our physical body, our breath, and our nervous system. We have now spoken to our body in a way that it understands. We've spoken our intention to our body in a way that it understands. This posture of deep rest allows us to soak all of that up. You can let go of any control over your breath now. Let go of any last points of tension throughout the body. And feel this deep rest take you over. Now slowly Deepen your breath again. Start to wiggle the toes, wiggle the fingers. Give your arms and legs a stretch. And again, we'll roll to our left side. Just taking a moment before we push up to a seat to let our body wake back up. And as you're ready, push your palm into the floor to come back up.